So we're here with the 2000 subscriber Q&A video, so let's find out what questions you've been sending in. Hello and welcome to Life Begins at 20. My name is Mark and thank you so much for joining me, and to be perfectly honest, thank you so much for getting me here to 2,000 subscribers, and we're going to continue to grow. I mean, I can't thank you all for watching the content, liking, subscribing, and sharing the content around with all of the friends. I mean, it's been absolutely incredible how well the channel has actually done, and we're literally just over a year. And I'd also like to thank my sponsor 5 Color Combo for helping me to help push the channel even further, plus my patrons as well for helping support the channel with their money to help me to buy new lighting, backdrops, all this kind of stuff to try and help the channel improve even more in the visual quality as well. So I can't thank you all so much for that, and we are going to continue to improve and carry on with the channel and hope we can try and get to say 5,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers. That would be absolutely incredible, and that is all down to you and your help. Now, I asked you all to send in a few questions to kind of either Magic the Gathering related or just general knowledge ones here, just to kind of get to know me a little bit better. So let's find out what you've all been sending in. So first up, MTG Spotlight asks, are you happy about where your channel is going? It's quite a tough question, that, actually. I mean, yeah, overall, if we're looking at purely the numbers and statistics, the channel's continuing to grow. We're carrying on to get new subscribers, and we're constantly growing, which is fantastic. Yes, it could say that maybe you'd like to see the content, the subscriber rate grow a lot more, or the number of views per video match up with the number of subscribers we got, but that's just YouTube. That's just how it ends up working. And to be perfectly honest, I'm starting to see anyway which videos people are enjoying and which ones people aren't necessarily as enjoying or as interested in, and that's something I'm taking into account and kind of thinking, well, do I push back the number of videos I make and just do 4 a month rather than doing 2 a week? That way I could put more effort into those videos, produce more of the videos that people are actually enjoying and watching, such as the Pauper Cube build along process is going to be something that a lot of people are actually watching. The Inside the Cube episodes, again, people really enjoying those, and they're definitely going to have to be coming back. They just take quite a while to actually put together, and it's just other bits and pieces like that. So it's whether we kind of rein back the number of videos so I've got a bit more time to actually create the content, plus have a little bit of spare time for myself as well, because I haven't played that much Magic, or I've actually quite enjoyed Destiny 2's come out, and I've played a little bit of that, but you can kind of dive right in, whereas with the amount of work I'm doing actually at my job, especially ramping up towards Christmas as well, maybe it's a case of I need to rein back a little bit to give myself a bit more spare time and then be able to push out better content for those 4 videos. It's something that I'm ignoring over, but overall, yes, I'm happy with where the channel's going. We're still continuing to grow. We're still making great content, and within the niche that is Magic the Gathering, where the highest number, the biggest channel's 300,000 subscribers, and we're a niche within that with being Cube. Yeah, I can't complain about the number of subscribers we've got. I really can't. Yes, we can hopefully continue to grow and maybe expand the content, whether it's going to get away from Cube into, say, Pauper, for example, with the Pauper Cube being a nice way to jump into a different format as well, while still continuing to do the Cube content, or going into another format as well. Maybe that'll bring in more subscribers. Maybe that will enable to, add more to the channel and make it a bit more entertaining, but that's something that I've got to kind of have a think about and figure out over the next coming weeks or so, or months, to decide where I'd actually like this channel to go. But for now, I'm more than happy with the path that was being set upon. So next up, Thor asks, what is your favourite video of your channel? To be perfectly honest, there's probably a couple. The one video that's made the biggest impact, I would say, on the channel was my introduction to the Cube format. This was the first major video I did to try and push into that kind of format, and it was really well received. It did help that I managed to get the video to rank in, say, the top 5 of a keyword, which was which I actually kind of looked at and searched quite often on YouTube, and that really helped bring new people in quite regularly. And it was the first video I think I got over 1,000 views on, and I think it's now over 5,500 views just from that introduction there. And that's really helped to kind of bring the channel into a better light. That's, but you know, to bring more people in, and it's continuing to do so as well, which is fantastic. But to be perfectly honest, the favorite video over all of them, I'm going to kind of cheat a little bit here, and we're going to go with the Cube for Two playlist, because that one not only helped me to be able to play with my partner, we can play some, you know, some Cube for Two as well, or if I end up playing with one of my friends, but I've had so many messages from people saying thank you so much for putting those videos together. It's really helped for, you know, to play different styles. Can only play with my partner, or play with my girlfriend, or play with my, you know, son or daughter or whatever. And that's been absolutely phenomenal. And I really feel that, you know, those videos helped a hell of a lot more than everything else that's been done. Yes, I've had people say, you know, thank you for helping me get into Cube, and I'm hoping, you know, the intro to Pauper Cube and all of those content, you know, that series is going to help a hell of a lot as well. But no, the Cube for Two ones are probably my favourite on the channel by far. So next up, Young Mage asks, do you think you'll ever become a full-time YouTuber? To be perfectly honest, especially within Magic the Gathering as a niche, no chance. Absolutely no chance. To be, you know, with the amount of the biggest YouTube channel of Magic the Gathering is somewhat like 300,000 subscribers, and the amount of work and dedication that the professor has taken to get to that level is absolutely phenomenal. And to be perfectly honest, he caters to a lot more people. The videos are fantastic, and you know, it's going to be quite difficult to get up into that kind of area. I mean, you know, you've got Wedge, you've got Alpha Investments has done absolutely incredible. Rudy on that channel is so entertaining, and he's, you know, flying up with the number of subscribers he's getting. And yeah, you've got that lot, but it's such a hard thing to grow within this niche, because you've got those personalities already there, kind of controlling, not necessarily controlling is the wrong word, but they're the ones up there that, you know, most people end up watching, or they're the ones that bring all the information you kind of need. So you'd have to then jump into a more of a niche to try and hopefully get to, you know, extra bits of subscribers in there, and by that time you're limiting the number of people that will actually end up watching your content. So in terms of actual, for Magic the Gathering full-time, there is no chance I'd be able to do that, because, you know, I need the full-time job anyway that I do to be able to bring in enough money to, you know, live where we do now, and to be able to create this content as well. I mean, yes, the sponsorship is helping. Yes, my patrons have been absolutely fantastic as well to help fund different bits and pieces like the backdrop, lighting we've got here, and the camera that we're using as well. But in this current niche, I don't think there is any hope that I'd be able to actually become full-time as a Magic the Gathering YouTuber. Now, if I jumped into maybe streaming, potentially, but again, I think the market isn't wide enough to be able to do that. Now, if you, say, for example, wanted to jump into a different YouTube channel, say, for example, that has crossed my mind of actually making a second channel or something completely different, so you could jump into gaming or movies or technology, where the market is so much vaster. Yes, you've got a hell of a lot more competition in there, but if you can maybe push through in that, there is a potential opportunity where you could become a full-time YouTuber there. Or what a lot of people tend to do as well is kind of making channels of how to help new people get into YouTube, what steps they're supposed to be taking, something like that. So in a different niche, I would say yes, it would be, there is a potential to, but in the current way that my channel's going, no chance. I'm just enjoying it as a bit of a hobby, sitting there on the side, and that's all it's really going to be. But you know, you never know. Something could happen around the corner, and it could change everything. But for now, I don't think there's any chance that I could be a full-time YouTuber in this current niche. So next up, Manticore from the Kitchen Table MTG forums asks, how do you stay motivated and come up with new video ideas? And that's actually pretty difficult to answer. I mean, you know, motivation is, once you start creating the content and you've got a loyal viewer base that actually are watching your videos and interacting with you, your motivation then is to not only kind of do this for yourself and to enjoy making the content, and I enjoy editing and putting the motion graphics on as well, because that's something that I do anyway as a full-time job, and I find it quite enjoyable, and it just means that I can able to do that here as well and learn new things here, which has been fantastic. But motivation really comes from the fact that you put your video out there, you put yourself out there, and people are actually enjoying and watching your content, and that makes it kind of snowball effect, to actually kind of say, yeah, okay, I need to make a video for all, for these people, for all of these viewers and all of you guys. And that's something that doesn't really wane, to be perfectly honest. I mean, in the stressful times, like when during moving house, you're going to kind of struggle, but personal life has to kind of take over from YouTube, and you can have a week or two break or something along those lines, just to get everything else sorted around you. But in terms of actually finding new ideas to make content, it's actually been quite tough, especially with the current niche that I'm in at the moment. The Build Along series was something that I've been looking to try and do for a while, and that's something I was very excited about doing. The community spotlight video was something that I tried ages and ages ago, kind of doing Friday MTG, the hashtag, which if you want to go and see a load of other new content creators, definitely go and have a look on the hashtag Friday MTG. You'll find a hell of a lot of great smaller channels as well to take a look at. And I tried to do a video for that because I wanted to kind of be a bit more inclusive with the community, and I just didn't have enough time, realistically, to be able to do that regularly, and I didn't really have enough time to actually watch loads and loads of content creators and everybody's content to kind of see, okay, what the best bits were from the week. So that kind of got canned a little bit. But as soon as I thought, okay, maybe the pet cards thing will be something that would work out, great, fantastic, and we've got a load of submissions from that as well. And it's just, you got to kind of have a little think about what your niche is. So for me, for example, my aim is to be able to help people get into the great format that is Cube and be able to play it. So obviously Cube for 2 helped for that because it was for lower numbers, and the introduction to Cube and now the way that this is going made it quite simple to create content. But yeah, I think once you finish these series, it might be quite difficult to actually think, okay, where do I go now? But by watching loads of videos and coming across different bits and pieces yourself, kind of going, okay, what do I need to learn about? And then you go, okay, well, I've gone and learned about that. Maybe everybody else would like to learn about that now. So after you've done all the research, creating videos about that as well. And it also does help with Magic being, it's new sets come out, new products come out, and that kind of dictates a lot of the videos that you create in the year. So for example, every time a new set came out, we'd have the top commons, uncommons and rares for Cube. We'd have some pack openings, which has become a little bit less and less on this channel because, to be perfectly honest, they're everywhere. I tried to make mine a little bit different with the motion graphics, and I still enjoy doing the pack openings, but it's maybe a kind of less and less. I'm going to be doing that. Probably just going to be the fat pack every single time, or some boosters or bits and pieces like that. But yeah, I mean, the actual product cycles do definitely help for content ideas as well. And there may be discussions going on if you're looking around forums and other bits and pieces like that may go, oh, okay, maybe I can do a video topic about that. Or it's just even with, you guys in the comments section have been asking me questions, and that's definitely something that I could do videos about as well. So that's also helped there. So yeah, the motivation is really down to all of you watching the videos, and you can see in the numbers and you're seeing the likes and all of that kind of stuff, and it really pushes you on to create even more. So yeah, everything realistically is down to all of you. So next up, Lazrick from the Kitchen Table MTG forums as well has asked, what has been the most surprising thing about being an MTG content creator that you didn't anticipate prior to starting the channel? This is quite a tough one, really, because I mean, there were definitely things, just as a general YouTuber, whether it not being an MTG one, which has surprised me. I mean, the amount of work, the amount of stuff you've got to go and learn about to try and push your channel even further. That there's been loads of stuff to be kind of learn about that, whether it's your keywords, your tags, thumbnails, how to put the videos together, ways of interacting and other bits and pieces like that. But in terms of just specifically for MTG content creation, it was kind of looking through everything and trying to get your own kind of voice or personality or something like that to come along. But the most surprising thing's been the community. There has been even just on the MTG Twitter community, for the most part, has been phenomenal, and I've had loads of people telling me how much they're enjoying the content and other bits and pieces like that. And for the most part, everyone is, really nice to get along with and all this kind of stuff. But you kind of notice every so often there'll be something that goes along, and you're just sitting there going, "There's a lot of drama here." I don't know why. It's just there's potentially certain people that you see on Twitter, they tend to either stir things up or have arguments or whatever, or the opinions kind of go a bit haywire, and you kind of just go, okay, I'm going to turn off social media for a while. But for the most part, the community in MTG has been incredible, and you probably find that in the same with every other community. You can go, say, the Destiny community or the Call of Duty community or Pokemon community or anything along those lines. You'll probably still find the same situation, but for the most part, the community has been fantastic, and everybody actually welcoming you and encouraging you to creating content. And being a part of the Kitchen Table MTG forums has been absolutely phenomenal. Everybody in there has been so welcoming, not only to myself, but every other new content creator and member of there, just getting to know everybody, and that's been fantastic. So yeah, overall, the most surprising thing is the amount of, how welcome everybody's been feeling, but there is also a case of the amount of drama that's around certain times has just been kind of very, very surprising, and you kind of want to stay back and go, okay, social media off. But again, for the most part, everything in the community wise has been great, and I've met some great people, I've talked to some great people, and hopefully continue to do that. Okay, we've got a bit of a two-part question here from Thor. So for the first one is, what is the best product Wizards of the Coast brought out in 2017? And then the second part of it is, what was the worst product they put out in 2017? But there's a note here where the gift pack does not count, because I don't want to make it too easy for you. And yes, the gift pack is awful. But best product financially for me was Modern Masters 2017. There was loads of great cards that managed to pick up for my cube. And there was a lot of then cards that you maybe be able to sell off to try and recoup some of that money. So I think we ended up working out that all the cards that I got for the cube at the time before I've started selling some of those singles, but that's a completely different story, we managed to break even on that, which was absolutely phenomenal. But that may not be everybody's cup of tea, and to be perfectly honest, the one that really surprised me the most in terms of the product was actually Amonkhet. That brought so many great cards for Cube. So many great cards. It may not have been the most welcome by everybody in the different formats, but in terms of Cube, it was really, really good. There was cards in all levels. Pauper Cube got loads of great cards. Peasant, powered and unpowered as well, got some great cards. Hour of Devastation, that can go away. That we don't really talk about. But for Amonkhet itself, I was looking forward to the Egyptian theme anyway, and I think it did a pretty decent job for sure. But no, in terms of financial value, it was Modern Masters 2017. But in terms of the worst product that came out this year, I can't have the gift pack. I wish I could, because that'd be the easiest answer. But the worst product, I'd probably have to say the Mind versus Might dual deck that came out back in March. It was odd. It was a really odd product that came out. Everybody was really excited about it. We got Jura of the Gitu back in. We got the foil for that is absolutely stunning. But the decks were. It wasn't a case of you could play against each other and it would work out quite nicely. They were set out for kind of a really niche way that I found that if you were an advanced user getting to play the Mind deck and you're bringing in a beginner with the Might deck, but even then it was just the Mind deck didn't work as well as it should have done. That's the general consensus with those dual decks anyway, because the number of cards you're not getting 4 ofs or whatever, so you're not going to necessarily get consistency. But no, I just found those decks to be really lackluster. They didn't give the excitement off that they really should have done, and that's probably going to be, for me, the worst product of this year. But there's been so many great ones as well. So yeah, if that's the worst one of them, apart from the gift box, then it's not been too bad a year, to be honest. It'd be interesting to see how the new Unset's going to be, how people can react to that as well. But Yeah, no, it was definitely that dual deck. It's over 9,000 asked the question, how much do you actually physically play your cube? Not as much as I'd like, especially now since I've moved home. I'm now 30 miles away or so from the guys that I usually played cube with. Another one of them's moved away halfway across the country as well. So getting the group together for actually playing cube has proved quite difficult. And to be perfectly honest, I'm not playing Magic as much as I probably used to either, and that's part of the reason why, I'm starting to sell off some of the more expensive singles in my cube, more to fund a new computer and editing rig and other kinds of bits and pieces like that for myself, because I know that I could use the money better than doing there, and I'm just going to proxy the cards that I used to have in that regard, and may probably, if anybody's seen my Twitter as well, probably make a proxied up version of a powered cube, but use the pauper cube that I'm currently going to be creating with this build along series to go and find a new play group, because I would be really hesitant to take out my main cube to play with a load of strangers. I would just be really hesitant to do that. So the pauper cube is hopefully going to be something that I can take out with me. I can go down to the local club that I found on Facebook, and I've started chatting to the guys there, and hopefully that'll be a way to get myself into playing some more cube again. But yeah, no, the main cube has not been played very much, and that's probably partially down to my fault as well. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to take it outside with to random strangers. So the pauper cube is hopefully going to get me back to playing a bit more Magic anyway. So that is hopefully the plan there. Next up, Milo from Milo the Gathering. We all know and love him. Name the card that you wish you could just remove from the game entirely. That's a pretty tough question. I mean, there's some cards that I really dislike playing against. Like True Name Nemesis I really dislike playing against. Jite I really dislike playing against. Land Destruction, Armageddon and stuff like that I dislike playing against. But for me, unless you're in a powered cube environment, I hate Sol Ring. Absolutely hate it. And it's I had it in my cube. I shouldn't have done. Really shouldn't have done. I mean, the fact that it's been pushed out by every single Commander product that's pre-con that's been coming out recently is quite comical, to be perfectly honest, because you'll end up finding, especially across forums or people I've chatted to, that they just ban Sol Ring in-house. They just don't like the card, and I can completely agree with it. It's definitely another piece. It's classed. I would probably class it as another piece of power. It gives you such a big advantage, especially early on in the game. For 1 mana, you've got yourself two colourless mana for the rest of the game, which is ridiculously strong. Yes, you got Black Lotus, which will, you can tap it straight. It comes out for free. Tap it, gives you 3 mana on that one instance. But over the course of the game, Sol Ring is far better, especially getting you ahead. And that's the card that I wouldn't necessarily remove from the game entirely, but I wouldn't allow it in any other format apart from the ultra powerful format, that is, your powered cubes. It should be in Commander Precons. It shouldn't be. It's just too powerful for that. And yeah, it means, if you're playing a multiplayer game of Commander, for example, someone goes turn 1 Sol Ring, everybody's just going to gang up on them because they know they are the biggest threat now. They have got such a big advantage there. And cards, especially early on in the game, shouldn't necessarily give you that much of an advantage straight away. Again, unless you're playing in the slightly broken format that is powered cubes, but you're expecting that to happen anyway. So yeah, I'll definitely be going with Sol Ring. So the next question we've got is from Manticore, again from the Kitchen Table MTG forums, and he asks, how's the new place? To be perfectly honest, is so much nicer. My commute is halved to get to work, which when you work on 12-hour shifts, having an hour each side was horrible. You felt so tired, especially after 3 days in a row, over the weekend, especially if they're 12 till midnight shifts as well. You just were so tired getting home at like 1 o'clock in the morning. And while my commute is halved, so basically 25 minutes or so it takes me to get home and get to work, it's so much nicer. It just makes me feel a little bit more relaxed. It's made me feel a little bit more awake, to be perfectly honest. It's just given me a tiny bit more time either in bed or what have you, which has really been helpful. Yeah, we've got the extra room now, which is really nice. I mean, yeah, it means I can put in my backdrop here, move for professional lights. My partner's got her desk to the side of me there, and then my desk over there as well. Set up. I've got my little corner one, which has been great, and we've just got a lot more room. We're not kind of falling over each other anymore. And the cat, well, we'd still fall over the cat, but that's just what cats do. I mean, the lounge is a lot nicer. It's just a lot more room, and kind of the really good things about where we're living at the moment is, just down the road we've got our local town. We've got a tube station to get us straight into London if we want to go into London. But probably the best thing, but also probably the worst thing in terms of how my diet anyway, is the fact that we've got food delivery services, which is Uber Eats and Deliveroo, which all pick up food from your local restaurants that are in the town and then deliver them to your home. So you get things like your McDonald's, KFCs, other bits and bits, Nando's, which Nando's is great. But the one that's probably the biggest problem, if I'll say problem, it tastes really, is just so good, and that's Five Guys. Having the ability to have Five Guys delivered to you is just phenomenal. It's so nice to have, but probably not that great if you're trying to lose a bit of weight, but yeah, it's still good. It's still good. So Young Mage asked the question, what is your favourite restaurant to eat out? Very, very easy for me. I love Indian curries. Absolutely adore them. So yes, not every curry house is going to be good. I've tried loads. We go around loads just to make sure you find the right ones. But the best curry that I think I've had whilst living where I do now it's a little bit more. It was more expensive for sure, and that was at Mr. Tadiwala's Kitchen, which is a restaurant that's just in one of the Hilton hotels near the airport that we've got not too far down the road from us, and it's a little bit more upmarket. You get different kinds of food that you wouldn't normally expect. So we had like coconut and beetroot samosas. My partner had an ostrich boona, which was really good. And yeah, it was just stuff that you wouldn't necessarily expect, but it was still the Indian vibe. And we had like a mixed platter to start off with with our starters, and it kind of came with loads of a single bit of different types of things. So you had your samosa, you had your paneer, you had your chaat, and all this other kind of stuff, which is just phenomenal, and it's the stuff I really, really enjoy eating. And yeah, Indian curry house, no questions asked. That's where my favourite type of food by a country mile. So LBMTG asked the question, who are your top 5 favourite YouTubers that are not Magic the Gathering content creators? Oh wow, that's a pretty tough question. The ones that are put 2 together now, so this is probably my 4th. These aren't going to be like a top 5 in terms of like 1 to 5, 1 being the best or whatever. But in terms of 2 guys that I watch very regularly are Nick Nimmin and Brian G. Johnson. And for anybody creating content or wants to create content, they are definitely the channels to look at. The channels are filled with really useful bits of information of like how to creating content, using OBS, different bits and pieces, keyword management, all this kind of stuff, all the questions you could possibly think of you might have to create a YouTube channel. It'll be on those, and they're really engaging. They are an inspiration of how to actually get a channel to grow. Definitely recommend checking those out. In terms of the gaming side of things, I love watching Boogie2988. I mean, he is just a genuine guy, and that's probably the best part about it. I mean, YouTubing now, you start watching them for the content, and it's the same with everybody. You start watching for the content, but really it's the personality and the story and all that kind of stuff which makes you want to stick around and stay watching. And absolutely loved watching his content over the past years or so. I mean, last year was absolutely phenomenal, and it's just really interesting to see all the different game side of things as well, but it's just his personal life and what he's been going through and all this kind of stuff has just been really, really interesting. And if you haven't watched Boogie, I'm really surprised if you haven't, but if you've never watched him, definitely do check him out. And then we're going on to more my tech side of things, and these are more not necessarily what I watch quite regularly, but if I'm in the market for a new piece of equipment, new computers, other kind of stuff like that, it's got to be Linus Tech Tips. Absolutely find them amusing. And I've been watching Scrapyard Wars 6, which is the newest one of them, with Jay's 2 cents, and I've completely forgotten what the other guy that was in it. That's really bad of me. But it's just so much fun. They create great content. If you never need to find anything out about technology, in terms of computer parts you might want to have, any stuff that's coming out like that, they are definitely the channel to go to. And I just really enjoy but again, it's his personality as well. And moving away from that into one of my other kind of hobbies, I really need to actually get back into, because I haven't actually hit a golf ball in about 7 or 8 months, which is awful, really. Considering I used to be a 6 handicapper, I really should play golf a lot more than I do. But again, YouTube takes up my time, and then work takes up my time. So definitely probably something I probably should get into more, especially next year. But for my golf fix, I watch, again, it's 2 channels, but I'm classing them as one because they often work together quite regularly. And that is Rick Shields Golf and Peter Finch Golf. And they do video logs on the golf course together, playing against each other, doing kind of challenges, as well as giving golf tips and the new equipment and all that kind of stuff. And I'm always really interested in getting information about all the new clubs that are coming out and all this other kind of stuff as well, because I think what gets me those guys compared to, say, other golfing YouTube channels is more the fact that I can relate a little bit better in terms of like the distances they were hitting and other kind of stuff like that. I mean, there were other golf YouTube channels that I'll end up watching, but they'll do like a driver review, and the driver will go, say, if they really, really middle it, it'll go about 270, and I'm just like, okay, I'm not seeing the same feedback from that I would say when they're hitting, say, 300 yards, because the ones that hit 300 yards and then giving feedback that'll be completely different to the one that's only hitting 270, that's what I want to kind of get out of them. They're a bit younger, they're a bit more energetic, and again, their personalities are fantastic, and they've got access to a wide range of golf tech, which is fantastic. So definitely those 2 for me have been great to watch for my golf fix. So for the last question, Thor asks a question that I can't possibly answer, which is, what is the best video game ever made? I can't answer that. I can't answer that. There are so many great games across all genres, across all ages, that are absolutely phenomenal. I mean, you could go back to the likes of your Super Marios, you could go back to Sonic being great, you've got, other games like World of Warcraft and Destiny and Call of Duty, as in like the original ones rather than what's coming out more recently, and other bits and pieces like that. There's so many great games. Skyrim, there's just loads, absolutely loads. And to be perfectly honest, I can give you 3. There are different categories for me that where my enjoyment kind of came from. So for the first one is back when I had my first computer, wasn't really into the shooting kind of games at that point in time. I was obsessed with ancient Egypt. I still am. That's the dream holiday trip for me. But with all the issues and problems that seem to be happening over there, it doesn't look like it's a holiday I'm going to be having for quite a long time. But like, even behind me, if I just get out of the way, we've got some Egyptian bits and pieces there that I've picked up and absolutely love the mythology behind it. And Pharaoh, early old game. I really enjoyed it as a real-time strategy. You got to build a city and, have to think about how you're placing things and all this kind of stuff to then build pyramids and obelisks and sphinxes and all this kind of stuff. And that was really, really interesting, growing crops on the Nile, the gods and all this kind of stuff. It was actually a really well put together game, and I've still got it on my computer now, just to kind of have a bit of a play every so often. It was quite nice to go back to kind of that game. In terms of visuals, in terms of the game where I've gone, oh my god, that was absolutely incredible, we could take the storyline a little bit to the side here, and we're going to go, this was actually quite tough. the most recent Tomb Raider, so it was, I think, Rise of the Tomb Raider, I think was the most recent one. Absolutely stunning. Again, I'm looking at it in terms of 4K, which I've played on the PC, highest graphics settings. It looked absolutely
some really nice
stunning.
graphics so far.
I mean, it's the same with the Uncharted series. I still haven't played the most recent one, but at the time when I had a PlayStation 3, it was Uncharted 2. I spoke to the guys at Sony that came in who did the environment design, and that's what my old job used to be. I used to be an environment artist, creating the assets for computer game environments. And at that time, it was stunning. The amount of quality they got out in that game, and the same with the Tomb Raider now with the current generation. The amount of quality and visuals that come out of that game now is absolutely mind-blowing. Again, it's Naughty Dog for The Last of Us as well was stunning when remastered as well. It's like playing a movie, and that's exactly what you want in a single-player game. Absolutely exactly what you want. I mean, yes, the Tomb Raider 1 potentially got a little bit silly with the storyline. I suppose most of them end up doing in that kind of genre. I mean, Uncharted and Tomb Raider are pretty much the same thing. You've got a female character in Lara Croft for one, and you've got Drake for the other one in Uncharted. And obviously they're going after some mystical artifact or some other nonsense like that. But I love it. Absolutely love it. They're playing is the only games where I've ever gone, oh my god, I'm ridiculously immersed in the game and I don't really want to stop, and there's been those games. But if we're going to go for the game that I've played the most, I could probably class it as it's probably been one of the best at times. And controversially, you know, people are going to automatically go, oh my god, I can't believe you played that game. It was World of Warcraft. The amount of hours I spent playing that game was pretty scary, actually. I could have achieved something a little bit more in my life if I didn't play it. But I just enjoyed, you know, having the character, playing with my housemate at university, and then the guild that we were part of and raiding, and just chatting to loads of people that I never would have talked to before, either across the UK or across Europe as well. We had quite a cultural guild. And it was great. It was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, it was. There were times where you put the game down. It's the same with anything. You probably get a little bit bored, or not necessarily bored, but you fall out of love a little bit with not playing Magic as much, or not playing playing golf as much as I probably should do, and other bits and pieces like that. But whenever I've installed the game again and started playing again, even if it was just for 1 month subscription or a couple of months, because I've really enjoyed my couple of months on there. Especially with the newest expansion. Again, I played a couple of months when it first came out, stopped for a bit, and then you kind of get the feeling of like, do I want to install this again? Do I renew my subscription or not? And it's kind of been like flip-flopping in and out of that game, but it's probably the only game I have flip-flopped out of ever since I first started playing in the Burning Crusade, however many years ago that was, I can't actually remember. Loads of years ago, and it's still going and it's still entertaining to play, and I'll probably put them up there as my top games, but again, they're for different categories. I honestly couldn't answer the best game ever. If anybody of you can, in the comment section below, answer what the best game ever is for Thor, definitely please do so. So thank you everybody for sending in your questions. It's been really fun to actually put this video together and to just sit down and just answer a few of your questions and just be a little bit more, you know, one-to-one with what you've kind of said, and hopefully, you know, some of you have learned a little bit more about me and what's going on with the channel, all that kind of stuff. So that's been really, really fun to do. So thank you very, very much for sending in those questions. And if I didn't get to your question, or if you have any other questions for me, put them in the comment section below, or send them in to me at mark.lifebegins@20@gmail.com, or just a direct message on Twitter. I'll definitely either answer the questions there and then, or if you want, I can do another question and answer video later on in the time, whether we actually get to say, you know, every couple of months or every 3 months, or even if we get to 3,000 subscribers quite quickly, then again I could do another Q&A video, because it's been really fun to put together. And again, I would just like to say thank you so much for watching my content, for being a part of this channel, for interacting and just making this even possible. You know, being able to create content and being able to, you know, bring all of you more videos and being able to actually make a difference in some people's lives has been absolutely fantastic. And I can't thank you all enough for, you know, to the patrons, to my sponsor 5 Colour Combo, and to all the rest of you for, you know, just something simple as watching a video, liking it and sharing it. It means the absolute world to me, and I can't wait to see how far we can take this channel and the content even further. I would just like to take this moment to thank my Patreons of the channel. I can't thank you enough for the help and support that you're giving me. If you'd like to do the same, head over to patreon.com/lifebeginsat20, and there'll be a link in the description below for that as well, where there are plenty of rewards to choose from. With your support, we can really push to make this channel even better. Be sure to check out our sponsor, 5collarcombo.com, for a great range of Magic the Gathering accessories with stunning artwork, plus a great app to draft and create decks on the fly. Use the referral code LifeBeginsAt20 for 5% off. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for new videos every Tuesday and Friday. With your support, we can really help this channel to grow. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.